Do you have any plans for tomorrow? Maybe next weekend? What if I tell you that everything you haven't planned for your life can disappear in a second? Everybody you know can be helpless, and only one person knows why. But who is that person? Hi, I'm happy to see you on my channel. Here I tell you crime stories while drawing. It's like a digital sleepover. If you are ready for more stories that feel like a late night chat with your best friend, subscribe and hit the bell. Let's begin. Nanaimo, a beautiful city in British Columbia, Canada. It is located on the east coast of Vancouver Island, and the population is a bit more than 100,000 people. In the heart of the city, there is a museum which displays exhibits of Indigenous people. A while ago, Tom Young and Marlene Martin created a family there. Their first kid was a beautiful girl, Lisa Marie. Later, they had two boys, Brian and Robin. Lisa grew up as a smart kid and very caring. She loved the fact that her grandfather was a tribal chief on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Growing up, she was close with her family. Her friends described her as an independent and the one who has inner strength. Her friend also said, "She was somebody you noticed right away. At a party or gathering or whatever it was, she just had a light about her." As Lisa became older, she found herself interested in sport and outdoor activities, especially she loved rollerblading near waterfront. She became a vegetarian at some point because of her love to the nature. When it was time to move out, Lisa wanted to keep her tight connection with the family, so she moved in with her roommate to next-door apartment. Her passion in sport turned into a dream to become a television sports broadcaster. Not a typical profession, and that speaks for Lisa. She turned 21. It was a perfect time to try living on her own, and a chosen apartment was in northern part of the city. It was a big move, and her father helped her with it. Broadcaster dream was ahead, but for that moment she needed a job, so she found one at a call center, and her first day was about to come. Lisa was busy, and her friends wanted her to relax a bit before she dives into her work life. On June 29th of 2002, they invited her to a nightclub. Her parents were confused, but they understood. Lisa and her friend were out when Christopher Adder approached them. He invited them to a house party. It was common to spend time like that back in the day. He drove a red Jaguar older model. Girls agreed, but soon after they all left to another house party near a beautiful city lake. It was late in the night when Lisa mentioned that she's hungry, and Christopher took her to get some food. Her friends stayed at the party waiting for her. Then, at around 4:30 in the morning, Lisa called Holly, her friend, who stayed at home, and said that Christopher doesn't want to bring her back and she's pissed off. At that point, she was on Bowen Road, which she also told Holly. Bowen Road goes from the waterfront of the city to a highway that crosses it. Her phone gave a signal at the departure bay, which is also near the water. And that was the last thing before Lisa disappeared. On July 1st, Lisa's parents failed to hear from her. They thought that she's too busy getting ready for the job and playing around with boxes in her new apartment. At some point, somebody knocked on their door. It was Lisa's former roommate, the one who lived with her next door. She asked them about Lisa, and that was concerning. They began to call every phone number they had to find their daughter, her friends and relatives. Having no luck, they contacted the RCMP. It's a Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Of course, since she was more than 18 years old, they had to wait for 48 hours. At least that's what they've been told. However, that evening, an RCMP officer came over to ask some questions and get Lisa's photo. And a few days later, they transferred that case to their serious crime unit. There were several searches in Nanaimo and around the city, but they revealed nothing. Lisa's father's employer printed thousands of missing person posters and distributed to businesses across Vancouver. In the end of the month, they had a conversation with Christopher, who allegedly was the last person Lisa was with. He was a person of interest, but with no evidence, they had to let him go. Since the car belonged to Christopher's grandma, she quickly sold it and threatened to sue if anyone would suspect her grandson. The search wasn't active, as for the first 2 months, only relatives and friends were involved in it. It was already a year after the disappearance. Christine Brandt, a psychic, contacted Lisa's mother. She said something about Colliery Dam Park, which was on the other side of the city, from that last ping on Lisa's phone. Terry Tom and Andrew Jackson, certified divers from the tribe that her grandpa was a chief of, started the search at the park on July 25, 2003, but no luck was there. Her grandfather, a tribal chief again, organized several massive searches between July and December of 2002 and then again in spring and summer of 2003. There was a billboard in December of 2019 near Nanaimo Bay saying Lisa Mary Young, missing, brown eyes, 5'4", tattoo flower band on right arm. Call Nanaimo RCMP. In June of 2021, the RCMP department of Nanaimo had a press conference regarding the updates on the case. They used ground-penetrating radar and trained dogs to search again. A year later, an anonymous American person offered a $50,000 American dollars reward for the information about Lisa's remains. The police investigation was publicly criticized by Young's family as well as journalists, bloggers, podcasters, and politicians. It's now January of 2025, and the investigation remains active. We know that Christopher, the last person to be with Lisa, lives in Turkey. Nanaimo's RCMP states that they check every new information regarding the case. I personally doubt that they have any new information after so many years. In June of 2024, friends and family of Lisa gathered outside of their local RCMP office to mark 22 years since her disappearance. I decided to create this drawing for Lisa as a symbol of hope. She smiles, because hope is always there. The disappearance of Lisa Young remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in Nanaimo's history. Despite over 2 decades of heartbreak and unanswered questions, her family, friends, and community continues to hope for justice. Recent developments, including renewed interest in persons of interest and ongoing investigations by the RCMP, offer glimpses of progress, but the journey to uncover the truth is far from over. Lisa's case serves as a reminder of the many individuals who have vanished without explanation, leaving behind loved ones searching for closure. Justice for Lisa Marie Young is not just about solving a mystery. It's about honoring her memory and ensuring her voice is never forgotten. A painful truth is that there is almost no chance that she is alive. Knowing her, there is no chance at all. She loved her life and her family 22 years. Somebody who is responsible for her disappearance lives their life. Eats food, meets friends, and maybe is happy in Turkey. I just want to say that the police did too many mistakes and too little effort, while so many lives were ruined. Maybe, if that won't happen, you'd hear about a famous sport broadcaster, Lisa Young. This story hits different. It's a mystery with no answers. I looked at the map thinking, what happened to you? It's not a big city, so she was probably lonely, angry, scared, and alone, and she just couldn't escape it. I changed the format of the video, trying to find that golden one. I want to make my stories comfortable, despite what they're about. I hope you liked spending time with me. Please let me know in the comments. See you in the next video.